everyone, and welcome back to another video. So in today's video, we're going to do a 15-minute photography challenge. So I'm going to shoot with my Olympus EM1 Mark II with the 12 to 40 millimeter lens. And basically, I'm at a new location where I've never been before. So this is the Roxby Wetlands Area. I'll put it in the description just because I don't know if I'm actually saying that right. But I'm here in a new location that I've never been to before. And so the idea here is that I'm going to give myself 15 minutes to photograph as many things as possible, focusing on that intimate landscape photography. And so it's going to be really tricky to try and film and take photos at the same time just because it's only me by myself. So I'll do my best here. But why do a 15-minute photography challenge like this? And I think the real reason, the real benefit of doing a 15-minute photography challenge like this is this challenge, this exercise, it really helps you to train your eye and your mind to look and hunt for details within a landscape that you love and that really tell the characteristics of that area. So without further ado, let's get into the challenge. Okay, so I'm outside the entrance to the wetland area and it's all closed off with like tape that says do not enter. So I don't think this location is going to work out. However, we are on the I think it's called the Kinsman Beach area. So I think I'll just stick around here. All right, so let's set a timer for 15 minutes. And let's go. Alright, so my 15 minutes is up now. I was trying to film while I was taking the photos, but it was cutting into like my 15-minute timer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through all of the photos that I took in those 15 minutes, and I'm going to show you what I was able to capture in 15 minutes, again, thinking about intimate landscape photography. Alright, so you can see this little lone tree right here. This was my first composition and what I tried to capture. So this is how it turned out in camera, as you can see. So what I did is I went up close to these trees right here, these branches, and I framed the photo creatively by kind of shooting through the branches. So you've got some of that foreground blur, but then the tree that I actually wanted was the one in focus. I also mentioned that I really like the waves that are being created by the wind here on the lake, and so I wanted to focus on the lines that were being created, and this is how it ended up turning out. I then really liked this long tree that had fallen here on the beach, and so when you get up close, it has really cool texture or pattern to the wood. And so this is how the photo turned out when I just focused on that texture and pattern. But if you come over just a little bit more, you can see that you've got this like textured wood on the bottom, and then you've got the smooth wood on the top. And I really liked this pattern sort of texture differentiation in the wood. And so when I focused on that, this is how it turned out. So sticking to this piece of tree that has fallen on the beach here, I really liked how when it comes to certain pieces like this, it can really give off different shapes and textures and patterns. And so if you zoom into this log piece right here, you can see the different lines, textures, shapes, colors that are basically embedded in just this piece of wood. And from afar, the piece of wood doesn't really look that much, but if you focus again on that particular detail with intimate landscape photography, pick out one thing that you really like about that particular piece, you can come up with something unique. So when I did that, this is how the piece turned out. Alright, so the next frame. Along this beach here, you can see that a lot of the trees are slanted sideways, and I thought that was kind of a unique characteristic of this area. As well, I noticed that there's a lot of leaves, you know, autumn leaves on the ground, and so I liked this detail and that the trees are all slanted. So I basically focused on this one tree here that is all slanted, but to make it a little bit more of a creative composition, I used some of the leaves that had fallen on the ground to further kind of add foreground blur and sort of frame the tree. So this is how it turned out. Alright, so this was the last photo I got in my 15-minute photography challenge, and there was two things that I particularly liked about this photo. One was the different basically shading of the land masses, and then you have the clouds in the sky. So you can see here you've got this like darker land mass here, and then a little bit of a lighter one in the background there, and then you have these different shapes of clouds in the sky with the cool lighting. And so if I had a little bit more of a zoom on my Olympus, I would have zoomed in a little bit more, but I only have the 12 to 40 millimeter to work with. So when I took the photo, this is how it turned out. So it's a little chilly outside. The wind's got a bit of a bite to it, but I have finished the 15-minute photography challenge. I was able to capture probably, what, 6 or 7 photos in those 15 minutes. Again, focusing on intimate landscape photography. So you don't need sprawling landscapes, you know, those towering mountains, any of that to practice intimate landscape photography, which is what I really love because it focuses on the finer details of both photography and life. And so I just came to a local park here in Kelowna, and I just focused on the things that caught my eye and the characteristics of the land, you know, really hunting for those details. So I hope you liked this video. If you did, please hit that like button and subscribe. Please let me know in the comments if you did the 15-minute photography challenge and what you came up with, and I'll see you in the next video.